Academy, and today we are going to be talking about the USD CHF. So now for the USD CHF, I always prefer making use of Owanda to select the pair I actually love to trade, Owanda. So we click on Owanda and then we allow the chart to load up. So we'll check for Owanda. Okay, select Owanda. Now this is let's get back to it. USD CHF, USD CHF. We pick Rwanda. Now, this is the USD CHF chart. Now, what will you simply do? We would simply go delete all analysis we've made on this particular pair. And then what can we clearly see on this chart? You would all agree with me that we can clearly see a downward trend in the market. We can clearly see a downward trend in the market on the monthly time frame. So now, since we can clearly see a downward trend, which will look like this, even if we're having a break, all of it is a downward trend. So now what can we clearly do in this particular market? We would clearly go to the lower time frames to pick our levels. Now, in order to help us in our analysis, we'll simply pick this high, which is the highest point market has gotten to. In the points we can see, and this low, which is the lowest point market has got to. So now we are going to be trading between this range. Now around that we can also see this level, which is the lowest point, which is in between the both of them. This is a low in between. So these are the levels we are going to be trading around. Now let's go to the weekly time frame and see what the weekly time frame has for us. So on the weekly time frame, basically we can clearly see that okay, good. So we are seeing something very interesting. We can see that market actually has been giving us break of structure to the downside. So let's pick this. This is one of the major break of structure we got. And before we got to that break of structure, our analysis plays out here. Here we got a break of structure and we had market take out liquidity. Yeah, so we had market take out liquidity at this point. We got a major break of structure at this point also, which is this drop. And then what do? We simply would mark our Fibonacci level. So we'll mark from this level to the downside. So we'll mark from that level to this level basically. We can clearly see that markets made its retracement into our 0.79 level, which is this high, this level here. And then from this particular area, the market gave its drop. It cleared out this low. So this is a very clear A plus setup, as a lot of traders would always love to call it. So this is a very clear A plus setup on this side. Now what can we clearly see again? So we'll remove this. And then what can we clearly see after this break of structure? We can clearly also see that market gave us a smaller break of structure at this point here and gave us a liquidity grab. The market grabbed liquidity to the upside. And what can we clearly see again? Now we understand it's a downtrend, so anything we are going to be looking for, we're going to be looking for more of selling positions. So now we had break of structure, we had liquidity grab taken out to the upside, and then okay, liquidity, Okay, so sorry, we have liquidity grab here, we have break of structure, and we have another break of structure here also, which created our liquidity. So this particular break of structure which created liquidity is the main break of structure we are looking out for. This break of structure which created this liquidity here. So now what can we clearly see? We can clearly see that during the time from the swing high to the swing low, which is this particular low here, market gave us our reaction in the sense that it got into the 0.79 level, reacted from that point, and market was to hit this particular take profit. So ideally, with this particular trade, it has not hit the take profit. So we are still bearish on this particular market. So what can we clearly do? We can now go to the smaller time frame to understand what has happened within this area, and that will help us take our next entry. So what can we simply do? We go down to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we kind of want to see something that's going on the market clearly. So on the daily time frame, there are two levels I'm seeing, which is this level, which is a liquidity grab here, and we're having a break of structure at this point. Now this is what we can see on this one, and then we can also clearly see this high. Now this high actually still gave us a break of structure at this point. It gave us a break of structure at this point. But now if we should go to the weekly time, the 4 hours time frame, something very something shows up on this 4 hours time frame, which is this liquidity grab here. So I am of the opinion that we are going to be using two levels to take our trades. Now, for this particular trade, this liquidity grab, if market flouts this by breaking above here, we will be looking at taking trade from this particular point. So we'll be marking this high and we'll be taking it down to this point. Now what are we going to be simply doing? We are going to simply be looking at market to get into this particular level. So our trade will look like this. Our entry, our stop loss, and our take profit will be here for this particular entry. Now for the second entry, our trade will look like this. Our entry, our stop loss, and our take profit. So this is what we are going to be looking out for this particular trade. So now, this being the case, this is for this particular area here. This is for us looking out for market to retrace into this area. This is what we are going to be looking out for. But now, since market is playing around this low, we'll delete all of this. So since market is playing around that low, we'll simply delete all of this. And what are we going to do? We are going to work with this particular level. So we are simply going to work with this particular area. Why? Because we can see a break of structure here which is not out of place, and market would actually react to this level. So we can see a break of structure here. You can see our liquidity grab, took our liquidity here, and then this is where we have markets currently sitting at. So our setup or our analysis on this particular market is this. It goes like this. We'll mark from this our swing high to our swing low. And now from this particular trade, the market is playing around our point of interest, which means it has already tapped us in for a sell. Now what are we simply going to be doing? So we'll simply be looking out for So we are supposed to take a buy right, a sell right now, put our stop loss here, and then we'll be looking at taking profit at this point. So the first trade, if you took the first trade, you would have hit stop loss. The stop loss has been hit, and then we are in for the second trade basically. So this is our bias on the USD CHF pair. Now we'll go to the smaller time frame. It becomes clearer. Now another thing a lot of you can do is to come down to this smaller time frame and look for the structure of the market. Another thing a lot of you can do is to come to this smaller time frame and pick the structure of the market. Now let me get something straight. So this is it. Some persons would easily plot their trend line at this place and allow the market to do its thing. So some persons will plot the trend line at this area, and then what can we clearly see here? You can clearly see the market has given break of structure at this area, and then it's currently pushing to the upside. We would actually wait for a clear break of structure, but ideally what we already have is market giving us a sell pressure from this area to the downside. The break of structures it has given to us are just basically break of structures of the smaller time frame. Like we can see, market has created a lower low, and then the structure is changing, and this area is a clear level of our break of structure. Then markets came into that level, retested it, and it's currently dropping. So we can see the same thing happening, but in any case, our basically at this particular high. This is entry, this is take profit. So this is the particular trade we are currently going to be holding. We're taking this trade and dropping the results of this particular trade on our community on YouTube. So basically, I would appreciate you all to give us a like, do subscribe to our channel, and to help YouTube recommend our videos to other subscribers. Do have a wonderful day, guys. Peace. One love.